Hello, welcome to Mismatched Readers Club. I'm Hannah and I'm here with Eliza. We're going to talk books, overthink characters, and go completely off topic. Probably a lot of off topic this episode, I feel. We have already, our previous episode was what, 2 hours?
Yeah. I also love that you consistently read the script and I have just gone, nah.
Yeah, it's because I'm like, oh no, I always get nervous about the start. And then I'm like,
I mean,
yeah,
I can do the intros from here on out.
no, it's fine. I don't mind doing them. But I'm always like, oh, I'm going to forget it or I'm going to like stutter and say our names wrong or something.
That's why I just say, hey, here we are, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's good.
Anymore.
It works. Anyway, we are going to do a very brief update. We've both just been reckoning with the page count of Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, which we did for our Wheel of Plot Luck challenge.
Yes.
And we pulled that up, and you'll hear it at the end of the last episode where we were just like, oh, that's fine. We're fine to read that, blah, blah, blah. And then we looked up the page count and it's like over 600 pages. So that's fine, I guess.
Excellent for us.
Excellent. Eliza's already bought it and I just borrowed it from the library.
Yeah.
So
I was especially horrified because the TBR for my next month has several books that are going to be over 600 pages
yeah,
long.
you're fucked.
I am in for a fucking ride.
I need April to be a really good reading month for me because March was not a good reading month for me. So I need it to be good and the attention span needs to be working. I think the problem is the hobby brain. So I have it sitting in my bag and I have not pulled it out yet because I have to do a little bit of work on it. But I've really picked up the knitting again. And I'm currently knitting myself a jumper. So instead of reading on the train in, I've been listening to podcasts and knitting. And it really has eaten into my reading time.
See, I do nothing but read in my free time, essentially. Like, I have other hobbies, but they all take a back step because I have things that I need to read for.
Yeah, well, I have just I read for enjoyment, but yeah, the knitting has really, I've been knitting in meetings at work, which is funny because my boss told me that I look like Madame Defarge from a Charles Dickens book, I think Great Expectations. And I was like, oh yeah, that's nice.
Would it be Madame Defarge or Madame Dufarge?
Madame Dufarge. And I was like, oh, okay, that's probably fine. And then I did look her up and she knits besides the guillotine.
That feels
She's
very
like a symbol.
you-coded.
She's a symbol of like death. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I think she's from A Tale of Two Cities. Okay. She's the main antagonist of, that's fine. I can be an insane French woman. That's all good. I've got to finish my sweater. Anyway, so that's probably why. So hopefully I did tell everyone quite ambitiously that I was going to have the sweater knit by my birthday, which doesn't really give me a ton of time. We'll see how we go.
No, particularly because this episode actually comes out after your birthday.
Oh, I'll put in a disclaimer of whether or not I finished knitting the sweater at the end of this episode.
Also, everyone wish Hannah a happy birthday for last week because the day this comes out
is a week after my birthday.
Is about a week after
6
your
days
birthday.
after my birthday.
I thought I put a note in there about that, but apparently I didn't.
No, you didn't. But yeah.
Now, last episode we were talking about, couldn't tell you what, but you did say there was an update on the Mia Ballard Shy Girl situation.
Oh, yes, I did. So basically it was Shy Girl was self-published. Then there was the controversy over the art and the artist not being compensated. The artist has allegedly apparently been compensated now. Then Shy Girl was picked up by a traditional publisher. So it was picked up by Hatchet Books in the UK and America, I think. And it was set to be published quite soon. I think it was set to be published in April.
I think initially you said you couldn't remember if it was end of March, April. So.
Yeah. So it was picked and it was going to be like traditionally published because it had been self-published last year and then it had been pulled for the traditional publication. Obviously, all of the AI allegations came out, blah, blah, blah. Hatchet have since pulled the book and said that they will not be publishing it due to the AI allegations and I think they said that they were currently investigating them. Mia Ballard has come out and said that she didn't use AI to write it, but the third party that she got to edit it when she was self-publishing, she's saying that they used AI. And now that it's ruined her name, I do feel quite bad for her because, like, either way, if she used AI or not, like, this has completely ruined her life.
She's covering her ass, I think. I think she used AI. If she has willingly admitted that she used AI or she stole artwork
Yeah.
as well. I don't buy that she didn't use AI to write it. I'm sorry.
And even then, like, I just think going and doing the whole, like, I do feel bad for her, but doing the whole, like, oh, my editor used AI type of thing, I guess if you're self-publishing, maybe you should have a little bit more oversight of that. And, you know, also, wouldn't you want to, like, proofread it? At least, like, to me, being like, oh, my editor used it without me knowing. Like,
Bullshit.
are you not proofreading it before it comes out? I mean, I haven't published a book. I'm not sure. So, yeah, it's just, that's what the update is. But also, apparently, I can't remember what the publishing house is called. It might be Hatchet. I'm not sure. They are now coming out in the UK where authors can get their books accredited with a little symbol that now says this book is human authored.
Yeah.
Because of the AI thing. But this is the first book I've heard of, and from what I've seen, a lot of that has been pulled because of AI. So it'll be because there was AI allegations for the Callie Hart book was it Quicksilver that there was AI allegations, or was it editing issues?
That was editing issues for Brimstone that came out last year. She has also come out and said that the indie cover she designed, I'm pretty sure she said she did on Canva.
That's fine. I designed our podcast logo on Canva. That's fine.
I think the line, my editors used AI and didn't tell me, or just that my editors used AI. Here's my sort of very loose opinion on AI in editing. Everyone uses AI. Like, if you're using a Word document, your spell check is considered AI, my friend.
Yeah.
Like, if an editor is using a program that is going to read a however many page book, and if it is just detecting like spelling errors, grammatical errors, I think that's fine.
Well, yeah, because like people use that in their day-to-day.
Because it's just expediting that annoying little aspect. And a lot of the time if you're doing editing on anything, you have to review that anyway.
Yeah.
So all it's doing is identifying the issue, and then you as the editor are making the conscious choice to either fix it or to leave that, that particular grammatical sort of whatever in place.
But, and then an editor that's fine, like use AI for the grammatical stuff, but an editor is, going to go through and be like, you need to cut 10,000 words, this chapter doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. Like, that kind of human oversight you can't replace.
No, you can't do that now. I'm sorry.
No, because you just, and also like, don't write a fucking book with AI. Like, I've read the parts of Shy Girl now that have been published online, like the excerpts and stuff like that. It's very, very like ChatGPT writing. And even then, like, even if it's not AI, it's just not a very well written book. But then that also sets like a worrying precedent. It's like if a book is not particularly well written, or you don't think it's well written, then is it now going to be like, well, this book is written by AI? So it almost sets like a worrying trend there. So I don't know. I'll be interesting to see how it unfolds over the rest of the year stuff and if there's going to be more AI allegations and stuff like that.
There's going to be. I know there is.
Let's all get a thesaurus and log off. Anyway, should we get into this week's theme?
Yes. You're running the show on this one.
Yeah, this week is definitely me. This fortnight. We're not at weekly.
This episode.
We're not at weekly episodes yet. We might get there.
I think.
Actually, I have some ideas about that, but we can take this off mic.
We don't need to.
So this week, I am going to talk about book prizes. I'm specifically talking about the International Booker Prize and the Booker Prize, mainly because they're like the big ones that everyone knows.
Is the Booker an Australian-based award?
It's UK-based.
UK-based? Right.
Yeah. So it used to be the Man Booker, but that was just because it was like an investment company called the Man Group that was their sponsor for a really long time. So it was the sponsor between 2002 and 2019. So it was then known as the Man Booker. And then the main difference is the Booker is the best original novel written in English and then published in the UK or Ireland. And the International Booker Prize rewards the best fiction translated into English and published in the UK or Ireland. So that's a very, very short history. Also, the current prize money is, the Booker Prize is, actually I didn't write down the prize money for the Booker, but I think it's the same as the International Booker. The International Booker is £50,000, which is a lot of money, but it's divided equally between translator and author. And then, but each shortlisted book gets £2,500, I think, and they also get like a special copy of, like a special hardback version of their own book,
cool.
which is nice. Because, yeah, I guess it's obviously a huge thing to be. Would love to win the Booker. Just if I ever publish a book. I did say to Eliza recently, I was like, we should write a book. And then she was like, I'm not writing a book.
I would be terrible.
I think it'd be fine. You can edit it.
Yeah, I could probably edit it.
You could be my social media manager. So, the International Booker has been announced this year.
Yes.
So 128 books were submitted. And yeah, it celebrates the best works of long-form fiction or collections of short stories translated to English and published in the UK and or Ireland between the 1st of May 2025 and the 30th of April 2026. So is that right? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so the shortlist of the 6 books will be announced in 4 days. So I'm going to give you my predictions because this is coming out after the shortlist announcement. So
inconvenient timing for that.
Oh, sorry. Each shortlisted title will be awarded a prize of £5,000, which will be divided equally between the author and the translator. So
we're doing international first?
International, okay. Yeah, because the Booker gets announced later in the year.
Okay.
So international, I think the shortlist is going to be, I thought it was a really good list this year. I can see there's someone I follow on Instagram called, I've forgotten what his name is, but I am going to tag him in this episode because he's currently reading all of his goal is he's reading the long list. Well, and he's over halfway through it at the moment, which is.
Didn't the list only get announced like a month or 2 ago? No, that's a lie.
6-ish? 6 or 7 weeks ago, I think.
Okay. And he's halfway through the list.
Yeah, he's booting through it. Good for him, honestly. I'm actually really jealous though because I just saw that he got a couple advanced copies of books that I really want to read and I'm just like, God damn it.
Publishers, please send us advanced copies.
Yes, I'll do it. I'll get on there and talk about them. Anyway, my predictions for this shortlist are She Who Remains by Renee Karabash, which is translated from Bulgarian. The Director by Daniel Clemen, which is translated from the German. The Witch by Maria Nidier, which is translated from French. I really want to read this. This is on my TBR for this year. Women Without Men by Shanush Paraspur, which is translated from Persian. The Wax Child by Olga Raven, which is translated from Danish. That is what I'm trying to get you to read.
I tried to find it the other week.
That reminds me, they have it. I checked online. I didn't go in person, but Dimmicks in the city has heaps of copies apparently. So you could go Dimmicks and apparently what's the one on Hindley Street?
Imprints?
Imprints has it as well. So yeah, you could get it from there. But I really want the Wax Child to win. I really think that it's admittedly, I haven't read anything else on this. But I also think the prediction to win, which I didn't even put it on my shortlist, is The Remembered Soldier by Annette Danage, which is translated from the Dutch, is another one that I think could possibly want it to be the Wax Child. In my heart, it's the Wax Child. But we'll see if it even makes the shortlist. So if this section is one long beep on the episode when it comes out, it's because I fucked up the shortlist completely and none of them actually made it onto the show.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, I won't be editing this until after the shortlist.
No. So we could see if I'm correct.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That would be interesting. Anyway, it gets...
Write them down.
Oh, I bolded them in the...
Excellent.
So when you edit, you can check and we can do a little count of how many I got. Right. I do need to look up when the winner gets announced. The winner is generally announced in May. I think it's the 19th.
Okay.
And then...
We'll do a post on Instagram when the winner is announced.
Because also I just wanted to check when the Booker Prize actually is announced so that I can tell you guys when I'll do my next Booker episode. Oh yeah, so the Booker Prize is books published between the 1st of October 2025 and the 30th of September 2026. The Booker dozen of 12 or 13 books will be announced on Tuesday the 28th of July. The shortlist gets announced in September and then the winner is announced in November. And yeah, they receive £50,000. That is crazy. That's so much money.
It is so much money.
So much money. Patricia Lockwood is one of the judges this year and she wrote Priest Daddy, and also everyone is talking about this, or no one is talking about this, I think.
Yeah.
Fantastic book. I read that book and it completely, this is such a tangent. Anyway, that book completely blindsided me because I went into it thinking like, oh, haha, this is kind of a comedy book. And it had such a, she really buried the lead with the book and it ended up being like so devastatingly sad. But yeah, it was fantastic. Like I think she's a really talented writer. So those are the books for the International Booker. I'll be very interested to see what does get announced for the Booker. Because also the dates are much different to what I thought they were. So I was thinking that it might be the books now that I thought that might be onto the Booker list are now, I realized I don't think the publication lines up. So that'll be, I'm going to keep my mouth shut about what I think is going to be on there. Last year's International Booker Longlist and Shortlist, it was won by Heartlamp by Banu Mushtaq, and it was translated from Canada, which I think it was the first book to be translated from that language that got to the Booker, which was cool. And then the shortlist was On the Calculation of Volume Number 1 by Solveig Bau, which was a Danish book, Small Boat by Vincent Delacroix, Under the Eye of the Big Bird by Hiromi Kawakami, Perfection by Vincenzo Latronico. I read that. I have some thoughts. I will get back to that. Heartlamp, obviously, and A Leopard Skin Heart by Anne Serrier, which was translated from French. Perfection was good. I read it. It's very, very, like, it's a teeny tiny little book. It's probably like just shy of 200 pages. Okay. Don't quote me on that. But it's short and it's very like cool, aimless millennial couple like moves to Berlin and has the kind of like cool Instagram worthy life, and then is like, oh, my life has no meaning. So it's very like millennial malaise kind of book. It was okay. Like it was I was entertained reading it, but nothing has stuck type of thing. Like I couldn't even tell you, I don't think the characters are named, but nothing about it has like particularly stuck. But I find the author to be quite an interesting person. Like I've seen his interviews and stuff like that, and he is like, I want to read more of his stuff.
Okay.
So it was an enjoyable read, but like also I don't think I'll ever reread it, but the cover is really nice. I've got like the fluorescent pink cover. It's very cute. There was a lot of books on the long list that I wanted to read that are still on my to be read and I haven't finished. I wanted to read On a Woman's Madness. I wanted to read Hunchback. Wanted to read Reservoir Bitches. The interesting thing about the 2025 International Booker was that all of the 6 shortlisted books were all produced by independent publishing houses, which was cool because it wasn't the big ones, which was good. In 2024, I actually can't remember how to pronounce the book name. I think it's Kairos by Jenny Erpenbach was the winner. I did want to read that. I still have it. I haven't read it. Just like so many books where I like pile them up and go, I'm going to read that, I'm going to read that. And then they're just sitting collecting dust, which is really bad. I need to do, like, genuinely, I need like a 6-month no-buy where I just read the books that are on my bookshelf. It's like a shop your bookshelf type of thing I need to do.
I did pretty much a 3-month. The only book I bought in 3 months up until pretty much the start of March was the special edition of a book that I've already read.
Did you break it when we went to Dylan's?
No, I bought a couple of things here and there.
Okay, good.
So yeah, that was all I bought. That was the only thing I bought, and I was like, I'm not really counting it because I've already read it.
Yeah, that's
buying
the
shelf. I'm just buying the shelf trophy. It's not adding to my TBR in any way.
Trophy.
Yeah, well, I already have the book.
Yeah, the book that was on the shortlist in 2024 that I did read, and I also have like continuously like recommended this book and thought about it quite a lot, is What I'd Rather Not Think About by Gente Postuma, and which I'm not sure that I have pronounced their name correctly, but it is about, it's another really, really short book. I think that's the thing, is like a lot of books on the Booker, I think that's why that person is getting through them quite quickly, is they read really fast, but they are generally quite short books.
I was going to say that when you mentioned it, I said like traditionally with a lot of, because the Booker is definitely literary fiction heavy.
Yeah.
A lot of those books do tend to be quite short.
Yeah, they are quite short. And then like The Remembered Soldier, which is this one on this year's long list, is a really, really long one. I think it's 750, 800 pages. Like it's a big brick of a book. But What I'd Rather Not Think About by Gente Postuma is, it's like about 2 twins. It's a sister and a brother. And it's kind of their relationship and how close they are and everything like that. And then it eventually leads, spoilers if you haven't read it, where the sibling, like the male sibling, ends up kind of weirdly getting involved in like a fringe religion, but he also kills himself. And it's like the ending of the book is kind of like the female twin like learning to live without that part of her.
Yeah.
Devastating. Especially if you're close with your siblings. I think I cried so much and then I immediately recommended it to my older brother to read. I think...
Hinting at something there?
No. But I think that author has just published a new book that I would like to read because I really did really love that. But that year was like a good short list, really good long list. So that was a good one. Actually, I've just realized what I want to see nominated for the Booker. I want The Silver Book by Olivia Laing to be nominated for the Booker. I don't know if it will be, but like I love Olivia Laing and I really hope that they get a Booker.
Wishful thinking.
Oh, look, I've written here. Yeah, Booker long list announced in July. This is the 2020. Now we're going into the Booker, so it's not translated fiction. So these books, these are more books that
I will have heard of.
You would have heard of. So last year, the long list was Love Forms by Claire Adam, The South by Tash Orr, Universality by Natasha Brown, One Boat by Jonathan Buckley, Flashlight by Susan Choi, The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny by Kieran Desai, Audition by Katie Kitamura, The Rest of Our Lives by Ben Markovitz, The Land in Winter by Andrew Miller, Endling by Maria Riva, Flesh by David Solloy, Sea Scraper by Benjamin Wood, and Misinterpretation by Lita Hoger. So the shortlist was Flesh, The Land, The Rest of Our Lives, Audition, Flashlight, and The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny. And the winner was Flesh. There is a, used to be bookseller, author, host, book event hoster called Jacqueline Croupy. And I love when the Booker comes out. Anything to do with the Booker because she does her predictions and she hits every single time. She always gets them. I love her book content. She also does a book. I don't know if it's like a podcast or if it's like a little YouTube video type thing, but she does it with the Australian author called Bree Lee, and they do it, I want to say I think it's like maybe once a month, but it's really good. I would love to. I just want to listen to her talk about books all of the time. Like she is so good. But yeah, anyway. So, and she predicted Flesh. She was like, it's going to win the Booker, and it won the Booker.
Wow.
So I would love to read the Booker. Also, the author was on Dua Lipa's book podcast recently.
Flesh.
Yeah. Dua Lipa's book podcast is really good. Didn't think I would like it, but it's actually really good. She asks very good questions.
Love that.
In 2024, the long list for the Booker was Wild Houses by Colin Barrett, Headshot by Rita Bullwinkle, James by Percival Everett, Orbital by Samantha Harvey, Creation Lake by Rachel Kushner, My Friends by Hisham Matar, This Strange Eventful History by Claire Masood, Held by Anne Michaels, Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange, Sarah Perry by Enlightenment, Playground by Richard Powers, The Safe Keep by Yale Van de Woden, and Stoneyard Devotional by Charlotte Wood. Charlotte Wood is an Australian author, I'm pretty sure.
The name sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah. But I do really want to read that. Orbital won that year. I liked Orbital. Dale bought it for me for my birthday, I think 2025, and I only read it at the end of 2025. It took me a while to read it. It's like set over 24 hours. It's told from the point of view of astronauts who are doing like a mission. So it's 24 hours. It's really interesting. It's a really interesting concept. The writing is beautiful, but it was not like I wasn't like incredibly wowed by it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it probably would have been my pick. I haven't actually read anything off of that list apart from Orbital, but I really do want to read Creation Lake by Rachel Kushner. Anyway, I have some fun facts about the Booker.
Yeah.
So that we can get into it. 4 authors have won the Booker more than once. J.M. Coetzee was the first person to win twice in 1983, Life and Times of Michael Kay, and then he won again in 1999 with his novel Disgrace. And also that year he won the Nobel Prize for Literature. Also crazy. Also, fun fact, J.M. Coetzee is an academic at Adelaide University. I have gone to one of his lectures. Very interesting man. His partner her name is Dorothy Driver, and she taught, I think it was called like Haunted Histories, and it was like a predominantly South African literature-based course.
Interesting.
Yeah, like really, like he also publishes it's like since the publication of his first novel, he has published a book every 3 years. Like unbelievably prolific, like so awarded so many like Nobel Prize for Literature, like Booker Prize twice. Crazy amount of accolades. Haven't read any of his books. Sorry. But he teaches at Adelaide Uni, which is cool. He also described the Booker as the ultimate prize to win in the English-speaking world. Peter Carey, who was an Australian author, won his first in 1988 with Oscar and Lucinda.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, and then in 2001, he won again for True History of the Kelly Gang.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I've read, but I definitely remember hearing about it.
It was also on the ABC Top 100 books list. That was on there.
Yeah. Also, Peter Carey is just one of those names that sounds really familiar, and I think it's just because it's a bog standard middle-aged white guy name.
Yeah.
Hilary Mantel won in 2009 with Wolf Hall and with Bring Up the Bodies, and that made her the first woman and first British author to win the prize twice and the first person to win the prize for 2 novels in a trilogy.
Wow.
Because Wolf Hall, I picked it up when we were at Dillon's and I was like, I think I really want to read this, but it's about Thomas Cromwell, who is the advisor to King Henry.
Yeah, King
Something.
Henry, Elizabeth I, something in the Tudor era.
Yeah, so that's what it's about. It's like a fictionalized account of that.
Nice.
It's supposed to be really, really good, but it was funny because I was like, oh, I don't know if I can commit to that. And then Emma was like, we should try reading this and I was like, I don't think we can do it as a book club book. Because
so
I'm
that's
not
what you were doing for book club this month.
We read May We Feed the King, which is short. And I was like, no, but I think we're going to do it as like a summer book because it is such a long book. And but then I say that, and then we've just drawn fucking Jane Eyre for our book challenge. So that's going to take so long.
I know.
Who's going to give up first?
Me.
You don't DNF books though. This is the on record. You're like, I don't DNF books. And I'm on record being like, if I don't like it in like 10 pages, I'm bidding that shit.
You're more not suited, but like better with classics than I am.
I've read more classics than you have. Yeah. So it's more familiar to me, but we'll see how it goes. Margaret Atwood has also won twice. She won in 2000 for The Blind Assassin, and then she won in 2019 for The Testaments. Which The Testaments is the one we talked about in the previous episode. That's the one that's getting made. It's the Handmaid's Tale sequel.
It's being adapted, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Salman Rushdie has been nominated for the Booker Prize 7 times, more than any other writer. He finally won the prize in 1981 for Midnight's Children.
What has Salman Rushdie written? You've mentioned him before.
I would love to remember what he'd written. The brain has gone. But also the year that she got nominated, so youngest person ever nominated, the oldest person ever nominated got nominated as well, which was Alan Garner at 88 years old with Treacle Walker in 2022. But I looked him up because I was like, that name sounds really familiar. He used to be a fantasy author for children's books.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and he is like a prolific, obviously he's 88, but like he's a prolific writer. Anyway, the shortest novel, because I spoke about the longest one, the shortest novel that won is Offshore by Penelope Fitzgerald, which was 132 pages long and it won in 1979. And then this is wild to me. In the early days of the prize, the judges would come to their decision a full month before the announcement was made. Nowadays, the winner is selected the same day as the ceremony.
Shit.
That's crazy. Imagine the ceremony's at 7 and at 6:58 they're like, okay, we actually do have to pick a winner, so let's flip a coin. Like, it's wild. I couldn't imagine picking that. It seems like so much stress. I feel like I'd be stressed as a judge.
I wonder how many situations in recent years with that being the way it's done, where they've announced it and then like the panel maybe been like talking, independently later and going, I think we picked the wrong one.
I know. I would love to know. I'd love to know I would love to know the controversy. Because also the other thing is I wonder if there was some controversy. There was a little bit of controversy. But it was decided there was like 2 years where 2 books won. Like it was like a draw.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember if it was late 90s or early 2000s, but they essentially said like, no, we're not doing the draw thing anymore. We are only electing one winner. And then in 2019, when Margaret Atwood won with The Testaments, Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo, they both won. It was a joint prize.
Interesting.
So can we get the Booker judges of that year on the blower? Because I'd like to know what controversy was there as to why 2 books were suddenly chosen. Because they made a rule against it and then they were like, oh, actually, we changed our mind and we're going to do 2.
Yeah.
I'd love to know the controversy.
Did The Handmaid's Tale win the Booker?
No.
At all? So no. Only The Testaments.
Only The Testaments. So interesting. But I wonder if it was, what do they call it, a hung jury? I wonder if there was like a split and they couldn't decide. And they were like, well, fuck it, we'll just do both. But like leak the group chat. I want to know what the controversy is.
Maybe one day this podcast will get big enough where we will be able to reach out to people from the Booker. And
I would just reach out to me anyway. I've got a lot of opinions. I've got a lot of opinions on books. I love the Booker Prize. Like,
we can interview panel judges. Exclusive rights to reporting on the Booker.
That would be really fun.
Like we're
Imagine.
fucking journalists.
Yeah. Imagine. That would be really fun. I used to want to be a journalist when I was a kid.
I did too, to be fair, I think at one point.
But yeah, other notable prizes, I guess, are like the Nobel Prize, Women's Prize for Fiction, which has also been announced recently. I feel like I had opinions on this, so I'm going to look up now.
Oh, God.
Is there, I was going to ask you, because like the book prize ones obviously are very like, you're right, they're very like lit fic heavy and more like my type of reading. But are there specific prizes for like fantasy books or?
Not that I've come across. I honestly probably should do some research into it, but I haven't found any. One of the obvious ones is like the Goodreads Choice Awards.
Yeah.
And that
I see
doesn't
that one.
exclusively cover fantasy. They're usually picked by genre and they are audience based.
Yeah.
So that's
it's like it's based off of aggregate score or something.
aggregate
isn't it?
score. I think there's a voting system in place
Okay.
too. I think basically it's done by aggregate score and then voting opens on like a selection of the top however many. I think it's top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then people can go and vote for that. And then a winner is picked. So other than that though, there's not really all that much.
I have had a look here.
Mm.
The World Fantasy Awards, the Hugo Awards, and the British Fantasy
Okay.
Awards.
Well, there you go. The Hugos I've heard of.
Primarily for science fiction and fantasy.
Yeah.
Because it's presented at the World Science Fiction Convention.
Oh,
okay, that's cool. Yeah, but then it says
a little bit of an episode on that.
It says Goodread Choice Awards. It would be interesting to see.
I think the Goodreads Choice Awards are interesting as well because they, like, it's all well and good to have a panel and be like, objectively, this is the best book, like from a panel of like critics and
authors and stuff like that. Yeah.
And people within the know. But at the same time, I think having like, essentially the People's Choice Award, like it tells, I think you need to have both.
Yeah.
Because I think like the Goodreads Choice Awards then tells essentially the publishing industry, these are the books we like.
Yeah. I'm looking at the World Fantasy stuff now.
Yeah.
And it was 2025's winner was The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett.
I have heard of that. I
have not heard of that book. The Reformatory was the winner last year. I haven't heard of any of these books. Saint Death's.
Who wrote The Reformatory?
Tananarive Due.
Yeah.
Saint Death's Daughter was in 2023. That sounds moderately interesting. Okay, it doesn't have a page. Whatever. Rude. The Last House on Needless Street by Katarina Ward was nominated in 2022. Okay, that's cool. Piranesi was nominated in 2021.
Susanna Clarke.
Yeah. Have you read that?
No, I do plan to because it's only like 180 pages or something like that. Like it's quite short.
Oh, Gideon the Ninth was nominated in
Thames and Muir.
Yeah, in 2020. Lots of people have recommended that book to me. I've given it a red hot go. It's not for me. Sorry.
I haven't read it. I
it's
look
not for
at
me,
it
though.
and it doesn't grab me.
Yeah, I'm not super. 2023, like Babel by R.F. Kuang was nominated.
Babel.
So I think it's either or. But okay, I don't think I've read a ton of these books, but they're very like traditional fantasy from the looks of it.
Oh yeah, fantasy romance is never going to win one of these.
Nah, they'll win the Goodreads one
unless something like really, really like blows everything out of the water.
Yeah,
things that win this water are going to be like your high fantasy, your epic fantasy.
Yeah, there's lots of the Prestige one. Yeah, lots and lots. Terry Pratchett's been nominated a lot.
Yeah, no surprise there.
Okay, so it's interesting. Yeah, because I just wasn't familiar with any of them. The Women's Prize for this year.
Yes.
Is Gloria Don't Speak by Lucy Apps, Paradiso 17 by Hana Lilith Asadi, Moderation by Elaine Castillo. I really want to read that. Flashlight by Susan Choi, Dominion by Addie E. Chitchens, The Benefactors by Wendy Erskine, The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. That's the one we looked at that because I think they've got I think we looked at that because they had a display for the Women's Prize at Dillon's. Yes. The Mercy Step by Marsha Hutchison, The Others by Sheena Kalili, Kingfisher by Rosie Kelly, Heart the Lover by Lily King, Audition by Katie Kitamura, A Guardian and a Thief by Megan Mumjadar, Wild Duck Shore by Charlotte McConaughey, The Best of Everything by Kit DeWall, and A Beast Slinks Towards Beijing by Alice Evelyn Yang. I really want to read A Beast Slinks Toward Beijing. It sounds super interesting. Julia Gillard is the judge, or the chair of the judges this year.
Interesting.
Love that. Good for her. And then, cool. So
2025, T. Kingfisher was nominated for a Hugo Award.
my best friend T. Kingfisher, who's writing this Paladin books that I love so much.
A Sorceress Comes to Call. That was nominated, but the winner was The Tainted Cup last year.
Yeah, I'm going to look up this Tainted Cup book. Let's see what won the fantasy award.
Some Desperate Glory by Emily Terr.
I really hate the cover.
Which cover did you see?
The Tainted Cup one. Both of them are kind of ugly.
I like the one on the bottom right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit nicer. Fantasy Murder
T.
Mystery.
Kingfisher won in 2023 with Nettle and Bone, but also Travis Baldry was nominated with Legends and Lattes. Thames and Muir with Nona the Ninth.
Wait, is this the Hugo Award?
Yeah, 2023.
Okay. Well, this won the World Fantasy and the Hugo Award, the Tainted Cup. Okay. Dapple Glass Infestation is what it's about. Okay. It's about Leviathans. I don't know if I'd be interested.
Oh my God. N.K. Jemisin won 3 years in a row.
What is M.K. Jemisin?
He wrote the 5th season. They wrote the 5th season. Sorry. I don't know if N.K. Jemisin is male or female. So it's a trilogy and they won 3 years in a row for all 3 books in the trilogy.
Okay.
16, 17, 18.
Have you read those books?
No, they are on my list though.
Interesting. Okay.
And I know if Jeremy listens to this, he's probably going to be like, you need to read that, Eliza. Because I'm pretty sure he's read it. Could be wrong though.
There is also the Edgar Awards, which are presented every year by Mystery Writers of America and named after Edgar Allan Poe. It honors the best in mystery fiction, nonfiction, television, film, and theatre published or produced in the previous year. You love a thriller.
I do love a thriller.
It does not give me a list. That's really unhelpful. Okay. Yes. Oh, Grandmaster Awards was established. The Edgar Allan Poe Grandmaster Award was established in 1955. The award acknowledges important contributions to the genre as well as for a body of work that is both significant and consistent high quality. Who do you think was the inaugural winner? 1955. Contributor to mystery. Spoken about it before.
Agatha Christie.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Stephen King won once.
Yeah.
Charlene Harris. Charlene Harris wrote True Blood.
Yes.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah. Interesting. Laura Lippman and John Sanford won in 2025. I don't know who the two. R.L. Stein won in 2024.
Hell yeah, Goosebumps.
Woo! Never read Goosebumps.
Really?
Never, ever, ever.
I used to love Goosebumps books. Again, we'll talk about that in a future episode.
We will. But yeah, so interesting that there's some fantasy books. But yeah, I think you're right. Like, I don't know if romantasy will ever get. I wonder if there's romance books aboard. Let's have a look.
Oh, there would be.
This is a little.
On a different note, because I'm still scrolling through the Hugo Awards. 1987. This is not a winner, but L. Ron Hubbard was nominated for the Hugo Award with Black Genesis.
What?
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't like that at all.
Very glad the man is dead.
Yes, it says I googled romance book awards.
Yes.
Goodreads Choice comes up as the first one.
Of course.
There is also the Romantic Novel of the Year Awards, which is UK-based. Awards recognised for celebrating excellence across many subgenres, including contemporary, saga, and debut.
Mm-hmm.
There is the Australian Romance Reader Awards, which is peer-selected awards honouring Australian and New Zealand authors. The Ruby Award, which is Romantic Book of the Year, presented by Romantic Writers Australia. The Emma Awards, which focus on celebrating multicultural excellence in romance and women's fiction. There is the Benjamin Franklin Award for romance. That seems incongruous. That doesn't really match up in my mind. And then there was the Reader Awards, which is now defunct, the Vivian Award, and then the Daphne du Maurier Award, which is a prestigious award given to romance novels with strong mystery or suspense elements.
Interesting.
So
in other words, we know barely anything about different book awards.
Yeah,
outside of the Booker and the Women's Award.
Yeah, I know a lot about the Booker and I know a lot about the Women's Prize, but that's pretty much it. So that's the book prize. If you would, what would you have a book prize? What would your theme be if you ran a book prize?
I don't know. I don't realistically, I don't read with enough of a critical mind, I don't think, to actually be like, I could definitively have a book prize.
Okay. What do you think is the best romantasy book of the last 5 years? Of the ones you've read?
You know what the two answers are going to be. Do you want single book or series?
Both.
I mean, I say single book because the two books that I would say for single book do have a sequel coming out this year. And they are The Night and the Moth.
Yes.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And then A Forbidden Alchemy, because that book is so, it's so very unique, at least as far as what I've read. Like, it's a little bit more like fantasy realism, magical realism, because it's set in like a little bit more of a real world setting, but also not. as far as a series goes, and bear in mind, I'm talking exclusively about fantasy romance here. I'm still dipping my toes into the epic fantasy world. Again, I'm between two, and I'm going to say two because the other one's not even actually fantasy, and you know which one that's going to be. I've talked at length about it.
Okay. Keep going.
One is the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. It's very dark.
Okay.
Well, the first book is dark.
Yeah.
The first book opens on our main character locked in a cage watching an orgy.
Sure. Why not?
But it is
Who am I to kink shame?
It's a King Midas retelling in a way.
Oh, okay.
Which
Interesting.
I found really interesting because that's not a story that people are going to do retellings of often.
No.
It is excellent. The male main character is honestly one of the best male main characters ever written.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it has a little bit of a dip like a lot of people. It's a 6-book series.
It's a long series.
It's not too bad. I think the longest book is maybe just over 500 pages.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe somewhere around 600.
Yeah.
So it's not terribly huge.
Yeah.
As far as time commitment wise. And there is a little bit of a dip in book 5, but it's because two main characters have been sort of separated and they're kind of in different planes in a way.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're trying to work it's a little bit more disjointed because you're going from one point of view to another.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're in the same sort of world essentially. So it feels a little bit disjointed.
Yeah.
But I still think it's very important. And, I think it's just one of the better written series. It comes to completion well. It ties up pretty much all the loose ends.
Okay.
You get some really, really good redemption arcs with a couple of characters.
Yep.
There's a character I hated for the first 3 books. And spoiler, she dies.
Yep.
I cried when she died.
Okay. Interesting. Big turnaround.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big, big, big turnaround.
Okay.
And that was really good. And the other one is obviously going to be Red Rising.
Yeah. Actually, when you were just you know what I'm talking about, and I was I wouldn't know fucking idea what you're talking about. Then I'm it's going to be Red Rising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, I think, one of the most easily accessible sci-fi series in terms of complexity, reading style, gauging, the level of how engaging it is. And I mean, you've seen the first couple of books that I've got. They're not overly
They're not
big.
massive. No.
The next few are, but the series is split up into 2 arcs. I've said this to you before. I'm saying for the sake of the audience. It's split up into 2 arcs. I have only read the first 3. I've only read the first arc.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the last book their release date for the last book to be announced because a few people have said you finish Lightbringer, which is book 6, and it ends on a bit of a hellish cliffhanger, and they're all suffering, waiting for the announcement of Red God.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I am also no, thank you. I will wait.
It was long enough. It's long enough for me reading The Night and the Moth, and then the next one doesn't come out until September, and I'm I want to know what happens.
I need to know.
I need to know. Can I please find out what's happened to Maud?
So I think the thing I love about that is I'm not a massively seasoned sci-fi reader.
Yeah.
I like sci-fi content. I love sci-fi movies. I've played a few sci-fi video games here and there.
Yeah.
But as far as reading sci-fi, I haven't read much off the top of my head. It's sci-fi written through a fantasy lens. So if you're someone that reads fantasy, Red Rising is a really easy in route to sci-fi.
Yeah.
Because it's a fantasy story set in space, essentially, is all it is. I mean, Justin has been bullied into reading it. At this point.
And he likes it. Also, the thing that Corby and Jess say about it as well is it's paced really well.
Yeah.
It's quick and snappy kind of the whole way through.
And
which is good because sometimes I really struggle with especially long fantasy books where I'm all right.
But
we could wrap this up.
Slow points though, but they feel important.
Yeah, yeah. It's not filler episodes.
No, the slow moments are where these big important conversations happen.
Yeah, yeah.
The big important human interactions happen there, and then it's back into action. And then it's slow moment where conversations and debriefing and plotting and planning and stuff happens.
Yeah.
So it's not just action, 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 action. It is a bit up and down, but yeah, the slow parts are where you get to sort of connect with the characters, I think. So
nice. Yeah.
they would be the books
they
and
would
series
be
that I would award awards to.
They're
give awards
they're
to.
the Eliza Awards.
Yeah.
The Eliza Award winners. Yeah.
What about you?
The
Wax Child.
Oh, I'm also trying to think themed wise, what would I theme? If you did romance and then a fantasy or romantasy, I don't know what my general theme would be.
Mm.
So, yeah, like, probably, like, The Wax Child would definitely win for me, maybe for, like, the best translated fiction I've read over the past few years. Just, like, so unbelievably good.
What about nonfiction? Because you do read a, like, reasonable amount of nonfiction or try to.
Ooh. I think, like, the best nonfiction book I've read actually, no, I've started that sentence and I don't actually know where I'm gonna finish that sentence. I'm on a journey here. I think, like, one of the best ones I've read is They Can't Kill Us Till They Kill Us by Hanif Abdurraqib, but, like, I would read his grocery lists.
Is that
Like,
the one you read, like, every year?
oh, yeah. I'm logging on, I'm reading. I should probably reread it soon, actually. But I actually feel like you would really like it because, like, he writes about music.
Mm.
Like, he writes about, like, music and culture and everything like that, and it's so much music that we liked when we were younger as well. Like, he writes there's essays in it where he writes about, like, My Chemical Romance, he writes about, like, Fall Out Boy,
Oh.
like, pop punk, and then also, like, popular rap music and stuff like that as well, like, from when we were teenagers and stuff. So, like, just so good, so smart, so empathetic, like, just such a good writer. Like, even his Instagram posts are good. Like, I love when he gets on and talks about, like, music on his Instagram stories. Like, I'm logged on. Also just, like, funny as well. So probably that, or anything that Olivia Lang has ever written, to be honest. The Garden Against Time by Olivia Lang last year, I was like, this will just give an insight into my, like, neuroses, but, like, I find I can't read anything about climate change because it sends me into such a state of, like, existential dread and anxiety that I'm like, maybe there is no reason to be alive. And I will just go into a very dark place very quickly.
That's a healthy coping
Yeah,
mechanism.
it's totally fine. It's totally normal. Don't worry about it. I can't start thinking about the weather or I'm going to lose my fucking mind. But The Garden Against Time is essentially, like, Olivia Lang and their husband bought, like, an older house and started to redo the garden.
Okay.
And, like, they talk about, like, art and climate change and, like, ecological collapse and how you rebuild an ecosystem and everything like that. But they talk about it as well about, like, the lens they use is John Milton's Paradise. Yeah, John Milton's Paradise Lost.
Okay.
So just such an interesting idea of, like, interrogating the idea of, like, paradise through different literary forms and stuff. It was so good. And also the audiobook is really good as well because, like, they read it and they just have, like, a very lovely speaking voice. But I think they would probably be the two non-fiction that I would award. Also Hanif's other book was about basketball and I'm trying to remember what it was called. That was really good. I didn't think I would like it.
You're not really a sports person.
I did have a big NBA phase though.
Yeah, that's true.
I did have a big NBA phase. It is called A Little Devil in America, which is A Little Devil in America is one of Hanif's other books. There's actually If I Ever Get Married, which won't happen, but there is a line in that book that I would use in my wedding vows. And then there's Always This Year on Basketball and Ascension came out in 2024. Good. So good. So yeah, they would get the
Hana Awards.
Yeah, the Hana. Oh my God, what happened there? The Hana Awards for nonfiction. That's what I would get. And if I was awarding fiction, I'm not sure what I would pick, to be honest. If I was picking fantasy, I'd probably pick The Night and the Moth, and I would pick the Kingfisher book.
Yeah.
I think at the moment. Although I did guess the twist in the current one that I'm reading pretty early on, and I don't mind. Like, it was a fun twist, so I don't really
I don't get up in arms about guessing the twist. If anything, I feel satisfied because I'm like, I'm smart.
Yeah, I love to guess a twist. Also, I think sometimes it used to annoy my dad a bit. Like, if mum and I were watching crime shows and it would be like 10 minutes in and we would be like, they did it. And dad would be like, can you shut up? And then at the end we would be like, we told you. They looked funny. They gave a bad vibe.
I do that to Dan sometimes.
They didn't pass the vibe check. And I think that's what happened.
And I'm like, I think this is going to happen. He's like, will you shut the fuck up?
I think I tried to guess the twist in...
Good
Seriously,
Lord,
guys?
dog.
My God. I tried to guess the twist in Hereditary. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I did not guess anything.
I don't think anyone would
I did not expect anything that happened in that book at all. It's the same as... Fuck. We've talked about it before. It's that horror movie that was set in Adelaide. Zoe Tarax is in it. Fuck, what's it called?
Fairly recent?
Yeah.
Talk to me?
Talk to me. I could not have told you what was going to happen at the end. And I was gooped. I was like, oh my God, you've got to watch it. Also, because the absolute horror I felt when I went into it knowing nothing, not even having seen the preview. I was like, yeah, great, I'll go see it. No worries. And it then immediately starts house party set in the Adelaide Hills, bombarded by Australian accents. And I was like, oh, the horror is I've lived this. And then there's like scenes where it's like on Adelaide Metro buses in like Flagstaff Hill. And I'm like, I can't be seeing this because this was my teen years. And like bits filmed outside Noarlunga Hospital. I was like, oh no, this is a bit much. Fantastic movie. I was so scared from seeing that movie. That was like I messaged Justin and I was like, I'm on my way home from seeing this movie. I need you to turn every single light on in the house. And he's just like, but why? And I'm like, you need to do it. Like, you have to turn it on. I can't be near candles. Like, I'm not. I was a bit the same with Hereditary as well. Like, Hereditary really scared me.
That's hilarious.
But I'm a bit of a baby. Like, I like a horror movie, but I will get scared of them for ages afterwards. Yeah. Okay. I think the next episode is going to be on books we loved when we were teenagers.
Yeah, childhood favorites, teenage favorites, books that sort of defined who we are as readers.
Yeah,
it's a bit of
it's going to be interesting.
A little bit of a catch-all, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I did have to go down a rabbit hole when I was prepping stuff for this because we thought we were going to do 3 episodes today, but it's 3:45 and we've done 2 episodes.
It's not happening.
It's not happening today. Because there was a book I read and I remembered vaguely what the plot was about and I could remember what the front cover looked like and I couldn't remember any character names or the title of the book or the author. And I was just like you'll probably, if you look in our Google search history, you'll see all of the stuff that I Googled to try and find it.
Possibly in mine too.
And I did end up finding it. It was a book called Cross Tides by Lorraine Orman. But it took me an hour.
All right. I'm going to tell you off mic because otherwise we're going to go into it now.
Yep.
We will see you all in 2 weeks to talk about books that inspired us as kids.
Yes, we will. Okay.
See you soon.
Bye.